Hello everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome back to Appian. First of all, it's been a really long time since I made a video, so it's actually great to be back and connect with you guys again. And for today's video, I thought I would cover something that I think is quite useful if you're working with Appian and databases, specifically how we can execute a stored proc from Appian and handle different types of errors. So before we jump into Appian, let's first create the stored proc that we are going to work with. It's a very simple example, but I have added a little bit of business logic and error handling so that we can actually see how everything works end to end. So without any further delays, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with the delimiter. I'm just changing the delimiter temporarily to 2 forward slashes. The reason I'm doing this is because inside the stored proc, I'm going to have multiple statements, and those statements are going to have semicolons. So I don't want MySQL to think that the proc is finished whenever it encounters one of those semicolons. So I'm temporarily changing it to 2 forward slashes. And once I'm done creating the proc, I will change it back. Now let's create a proc create procedure, and I'm going to call this add numbers because for this example we are simply going to take two numbers and add them together. Now let's create a first parameter, and I'm going to make this an input parameter. So I'm going to use the in keyword here. It basically tells the stored proc that this parameter is a value that we are going to receive from the caller, and in our case the caller is going to be Appian. So Appian will provide a value, and that value will come into a stored proc through this input1 parameter. I am now creating an input parameter called input1, and it's going to accept an integer value from whoever calls this proc. And because we are expecting an integer number, I'm going to use the int data type. Now let's create a second input parameter. Again, I'm going to use in because this is another value that I want to receive from Appian. I'll call this one input2, and again I will use int because we are expecting another integer number. So now we have two values coming into a proc, input1 and input2. Now we have talked about in, which is used when we are sending values into the proc. Now let's look at the other side. I want the proc to send a value back to Appian. So for that, I'm going to use the out keyword. Let's create an output parameter called output sum. I'm using out because this is not something I am expecting Appian to provide. Instead, this is something that stored proc is going to calculate and return back to Appian. And again, because our result is going to be a number, I'm using int. Now I want one more output parameter, and this one is going to be a little different. I don't just want the proc to give me the calculated number. I also want it to tell me whether something went wrong. So I'm going to create another out parameter, and I will call it error message. Again, I'm using out because this is something the proc is going to send back to Appian. But this time I'm expecting text instead of a number. So I'm going to use varchar. So at this point we have got 4 parameters. We have 2 input parameters and 2 output parameters. Okay, so we have finished defining our parameters, and now I'm going to use begin to start the actual body of the stored proc. Everything we write after this is going to be the logic that our stored proc executes. So now I'm going to add a database level error handling. This is one of the important parts of this example. I'm going to declare an exit handler for SQL exception. So let's break that down. SQL exception basically represents an SQL exception, meaning something unexpected happening while a SQL is executing. An exit handler tells the database what to do when that exception occurs. So I am essentially saying if an unexpected SQL error occurs while this proc is running, stop the normal execution and come into this handler. Alright, I am wrapping my error handling statements inside another begin and end block so I can execute multiple statements when the exception occurs. Now that we have said what should happen when there is an exception, let's decide what values we want to return. First, I'm going to set output sum to null. And the reason I'm doing this is because if something failed, I do not want Appian to receive a value that could be mistaken for a successful result. So I'm explicitly saying there is no valid result because the operation failed. And now I'm going to populate an error message. I'm going to use a generic message for that. something like an unexpected error occurred. So whenever an unexpected SQL exception occurs, Appian will get this message through our error message output parameter. And here I have already closed the handler using end. Okay, so that's our exception handler. Basically, if anything unexpected happens at the database level, we have a controlled way of returning a response instead of leaving the application with an unhandled database error. Now let's move on to our actual business logic. I'm going to add a very simple rule for this example. Let's say our application does not allow negative numbers. So before we perform the calculation, I want to validate the two inputs. I'm going to create an if condition. Here I'm checking whether input 1 is less than 0. And I'm also checking whether input 2 is less than 0. I'm using this OR because I want the condition to be true if either one of the inputs is negative. So if I receive something like 10 and 20, we are fine. But if I receive minus 10 and 20, then the condition is true and we are going to treat that as a business validation error. So if we have a negative number, I am not going to calculate the sum. I will set the output to null, and then I will set the error message to something that actually explains what went wrong. In this case, negative numbers are not allowed. Now notice that this is different from an exception handler. This is not a database error. The database is working perfectly fine. This is a business rule that we have defined. We are saying that from an application perspective, negative numbers are not allowed. So this is what I would call a business validation error. Okay, so what happens if both inputs are valid? Then we come into else block, and this is where we are going to perform our actual operation. Cool. I'm going to take input 1 and add input 2, and I'm going to store the result inside our output sum parameter. So if Appian sends 10 and 20, our output should be 30. And because this represents a successful path, I do not want to return an error message. So I'm going to explicitly set error message to null. This gives us a very simple way to identify success. If output sum has a value and error message is null, we can consider this operation successful. Okay, so now we have finished our business logic. I'm going to close the if statement using endif, and I have already closed the stored proc using end. Remember that we changed our delimiter to double forward slash at the beginning. So this slash tells MySQL that the complete create proc statement is now finished. And finally, I'm going to change the delimiter back to the normal semicolon. Okay, so before we move over to Appian, let's just walk through the entire proc once. Alright, so first things first, I changed the delimiter from the default semicolon to double forward slash because our stored proc contains multiple SQL statements, and then I have used double slash at the end to mark the completion of the procedure, and then I have changed the delimiter back to the normal semicolon. Then we created a general SQL exception handler. So if something unexpected happens at the database level, we are going to set our result to null and return a generic error message. After that, we have our business validation. If either input is negative, we are going to return negative numbers are not allowed. And if the inputs are valid, we come into the else block and perform our calculation. Alright, so our stored proc is ready. It looks like we are getting an error when we try to execute it. I'm pretty sure I may have missed a semicolon somewhere. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, I have fixed it now. Let's run the proc again and see if it works this time. Now let's move over to Appian and see how we can actually call this stored proc. So I have this unnamed rule open with me, and I'm going to execute this stored proc from this rule. Before I actually start writing the expression, I want to quickly talk about one important thing. Appian provides us with two different functions for executing stored proc. We have abang execute stored proc for query, and we have abang execute stored proc on save. So which one should we use? Well, that actually depends on what a stored proc is doing. If a stored proc is just being used to retrieve data or perform some operation without modifying the database, we can use abang execute stored proc for query. And abang execute stored proc on save is specifically designed to safely execute a stored proc in a save into context. So for example, if I have a save button on an interface and clicking that button should execute a stored proc that updates the database, this is the function I would use. For this particular example, I'm going to use abang stored procedure for query. Now Appian is going to ask us for a few things. The first thing I need to tell it is which database I want to connect to. So I am going to provide my data source here. In my case, the data source is JDBC Appian. Basically, I'm telling Appian this is the database where my stored proc is located. Next, I need to tell Appian which stored proc I want to execute. So I'm going to provide the name of the proc we created earlier, that is add numbers. So at this point, Appian knows two things. Which database should I go to? That's a data source. And which stored proc should I execute? That's a procedure name. Now we have come to probably the most important part for our example. Now we need to provide those values from Appian. That's exactly what we are going to do using the inputs parameter. Inside the inputs list, I'm going to use another Appian function called aBankStoredProcedure input. This function is basically used to define an input that we are going to pass to a stored proc, and it takes two important things: the name of the stored proc parameter and the value we want to pass to it. So let's create a first one. First, I'm going to provide the name, and this name needs to match the name of the input parameter that we created in a stored proc. Remember, in SQL we created input1, so here I'm going to use input1 as the name. This is very important. I'm not randomly choosing this name here. This is the name of the parameter that exists in the stored proc. Now we need to tell Appian what value we actually want to send for input1, and that's what the value parameter is for. So I'm going to create a rule input for that and call it num1 and keep the data type as number integer. I'm going to create another rule input and call it num2. Now I'm going to use this ri num1 as my value. Okay, so that's our first stored proc input. We have basically said take the value from ri num1 and pass it to the stored proc parameter called input1. Now let's create the second input. And again, I'm going to use abang stored proc input because our stored proc has a second in parameter. The name here needs to match our SQL parameter. In our stored proc, we created input2. So I'm going to use input2 here as well. And for the value, I'm going to pass this over here. Now we have ri num1 going into input1 and ri num2 going into input2. So at this point, Appian has everything it needs to make the call. We have the database, we have the stored proc name, we have the values for both input parameters. Cool. So now let's actually test it and see what we get back. I'm going to test this expression rule by providing values for our rule inputs. So for num1, I'm going to pass 4, and for num2, I'm going to pass 5. So these are the two values that are going to be passed into a stored proc. I'm now going to click test and let's see what happens. Okay, so we have a result. Now before we look at the actual output, let's remember what we expected. So if the proc executes successfully, we should expect our output sum to be 9, and because everything was successful, we should also expect our error message to be null. So our first test worked perfectly. Alright, now let's test a completely different scenario. This time I want to test a business validation. So I'm going to change num2. Instead of 5, I'm going to pass -7 and will keep num1 as 4. I'm going to click test and let's see what we get. So we can see that our business validation has kicked in. And notice something interesting here. We are getting a specific business error. Negative numbers are not allowed and our output sum is null. Now I want to test the other side of this. What happens when something goes wrong at the database level? So I'm now going to intentionally introduce an error into my stored proc. Now to demonstrate our exception handler, I'm going to add something specifically here in my stored proc. I'm going to execute a query against a table called non-existing table. I'm doing this purely for testing purpose. Obviously in a real application, we wouldn't have a query pointing to a table that doesn't exist. So when MySQL reaches this statement, it's going to say that table does not exist. That will generate an SQL exception. And because we have our SQL exception handler above, proc should move into that handler. So right now, even if I give the proc two valid numbers, we are going to hit this database exception first. That means the calculation below it won't actually execute, and that's intentional for this part of the video. I am going to execute this script, and now let's click test and see what we get. Okay, so this time we are getting an error response, and this is exactly what we wanted to see. Notice that our output sum is null and our error message contains an unexpected error occurred. Cool, so that's pretty much it for today's video. We saw how to execute a stored proc from Appian, how to pass input parameters, and most importantly, how to handle both business errors and database errors. Hope this helps. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe to Appian Seeker for more such Appian tutorials. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.